Ozzy from 3 Monkeys Amps and 3 Monkeys Solderless, and this is my personal channel where I like to goof around with things on the weekend, kind of entertain myself, and maybe share a little bit of the fun if you guys find this kind of stuff interesting. So to keep the ball rolling, what I thought we would do today is slave some Marshalls together. So to do that, I've got my 71 small box 50 watt head, stock amp, and the 73 super lead. All right. And what I plan on doing is to take the 50 watt and run it through this, which is just a basic load box with a variable line out. It's the kind that probably there is a schematic for every other page on the internet. It just basically has some aluminum fin resistors to act as your load, and then a potentiometer in parallel with the circuit to give you your variable line out. And we've also got our variac over here, which this amp is still set up for a variac to run the amp at 90 volts, so we're going to continue doing that. And then if there's time, we're going to put the 7884 pedal board through it too and see how that sounds. So let's bring this all up to the submarine studio and put it all together, and let's see how it sounds. Okay, so we're up in the submarine studio and we got all the amps set up, ready to go. We got our 50 watter running at wall voltage. We've got our 100 watter running at 90 through the variac. We have our load box up here, and on the floor we've got the OxBox, which is set on the Sunset Sound setting. So what I thought I would do for you to kind of show you the whole like slave thing and what differences it makes and how it all goes together is kind of show you it one piece at a time. So I want to play you the 100 watter separately, the 50 watter separately, and then what we came for, which is the 50 watter through the load box into the line in on the 100 watter. All right, so I should also say that I'm an amp builder, not a guitar player, so I hope you like clams because the seafood is free. So anyway, let's start off with the 100 watter and see what that sounds like on its own through the OxBox. Let's take it off of standby and let's listen to it. So you can see that's pretty much got a a nice classic Marshall sound. It's not as aggressive as some, and that really has to do with the fact that it's variaced down to 90 volts. The cathode is kind of not been heated up. The elements in there haven't been heated up, basically due to the fact that the filaments are running on less than their desired voltage and the tubes can't get hot. So anyway, that's our 100 watter. So let's go ahead and plug into the 50, and I think you're going to see that that one's a little bit more aggressive. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll take the amp off of standby, put it on standby, and then plug the OxBox into the output of the 50 watter, plug into the front of the 50. And then we're going to go ahead and listen to this one. So as you can see, that amp is significantly more aggressive than the 100 watter is due to the fact that, it's running at the proper voltages. That may be a surprise to some of you, but that's sort of, how it really works. The tone may change in the 100 watter in a way that some people like, but it definitely gets less aggressive. All right, so let's go ahead now and do what we came to here, which is to plug the 50 watter into the load box and the load box into the line into the 100. All right, so I'm going to put the 50 on standby and go ahead and make the changes. So I'm going to plug the OxBox into the 100 watt output. I'm going to plug the 50 watt into the load box, and the load box output into the line in on the Marshall, which is just basically interrupting the link between the treble pot and the phase inverter. So it's just basically going into the phase inverter. You could put it through the front of the amp, but it's way out of control that way. Okay, so we've got our knob on the top here, which will give us our drive. All right, so let's go ahead and take the amps off of standby. And then we'll see. Bringing up the volume with the knob. All right, so you can see the tone has changed a little bit too. It's gotten a slight bit darker, and it is a little bit more aggressive. It's not terribly more aggressive, as you really, you're not really driving a whole lot more tube stages. But I think the purpose of this really was to kind of increase stage volume, that you could get one amplifier to provide a line signal that you could drive the power amps of many more amplifiers on stage. So for instance, you could put this load box through a splitter and then run it into 4 or 5 or 600 watt power amps through their lines in and into cabinets on stage, and then you would have a very consistent sound all the way across the stage from cab to cab to cab. And you would get a good stage volume if you were playing something like a Civic Center or something like that. But it does have a really cool sound for it. So I hope you learned something about slaving. I might do a video with the 100 watt or up to wall voltage too as well, to see what a difference that makes. But yeah, that's sort of how slaving goes. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time.